Hey, next year there'll be morel mushroom because morel mushroom grow well after a burn forest. It's a symbol of rebirth, or the morel will come in the spring. So for 15 years, I've been chasing where I've been discovering the north of Canada because every year I would go where there was a burn forest the year before.
Hi everyone, it's Keegan and I'm with Memo today, who is somebody I just reconnected with after several years. We originally met at the New Earth Festival in Bali 2017. And for this year's Lion Gate portal, August 8th, I put out a post on Facebook, said I'm giving away free energy healing sessions, and Memo was one of the people that commented he'd be interested in receiving a session, and so we did that. And then interesting story, reconnecting after many years, serendipitously, and we just wanted to have a conversation, record it, and share it with all of you. So, welcome, Memo, and how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Good morning to me, and good evening to you.
Exactly, exactly. And just so people aren't confused, or we can maybe clear it up a little bit. I introduced you as Memo. Your name here on Zoom, it says Rock Kiwi. Do you want to explain a little bit about your various names that you have?
Wow, I'm 52. Okay, I'm 52. So yeah, my mom gave me the name of Rock for maybe I was the first child in the first cousin, the first. I was very expected. Uh, the first child after a miscarriage. So mom decided to call me Rock. This one will live, rock, solid as a rock.
Hmm.
Uh, but with an H. And so you see, I put a big H because I always have to fight. Uh, and Kiwi. The we, I changed the we, but it's like I'm francophone, huh? So it's the we, like yes, but if in anglophone sound wise, it's the we as us, as we. And so, and when we met, Keegan, we met in Bali, but I was coming from New Zealand, so I play with this Kiwi, the New Zealand, the Kiwi. So I was like
Yes.
Rocky, but the Kiwi.
I love it.
When I'm in Mexico, people are calling me Rocky. So
Nice.
I'm not too attached with my name, but I'm also attached. So I like to, yeah, let's get going to something
And,
different.
and and how about Memo? What
Oh,
does
the
that mean to you?
memo. Oh la la, the memo. So the memo, it's my last relationship. She changed her name and she say, I was in Mexico, and she said, Memo, this is your new name. And I say, well, because it was like a year relationship, and we were children again, playing again together, and she felt that I needed to change my name to have like something more soft, and maybe because I had a good memory also about things. So now I have a new name
Hmm.
that I'm trying to adapt and give more different meaning around it. Um, yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's good. You can have different aspects for different moments. You know, you can keep them in your little imaginary pouch and pull out the name that's most appropriate for for each moment. Yeah.
Exactly.
Great. So yeah, do you want to share a bit about your journey down in Kiwi land and leading up to where we met in Bali?
Okay, well, I forage for living. Okay, I forage for living. I forage mushroom, berry. I like to say I forage medicine. I forage plants. Basically, uh, I'm loving what I do because when I do this, I earn a living. But I also I earn a great connection with Mother Earth, and I earn a living with the respect of Mother Earth. So so uh, so when I'm in Canada, basically I I go hunting for the morel mushroom, or the next gig it's the berry, huckleberry. So when I'm in Canada, I work hard, and I'm in the bush and with a bunch of others, and when winter come, or in the past, we met in 2017. You remind me that, but so in fall and winter, or winter and spring, I would travel, and that time I had the idea of going to New Zealand to go pick cherries, uh, to do another kind of piece work, and I went, but I could not get no job because well, I was not meant to do the piecework, I guess, but because I didn't have the paperwork. So I end up doing different things, like volunteering at festival, some festival in New Zealand. I had bought a car. I spent 3 months in New Zealand, and yeah, I had a good time in New Zealand. New Zealand was kind of it's like an island, and like I think the permaculture ID was born in New Zealand. I remember New Zealand people likes to go hiking. It's kind of normal to go hiking. Everybody go hiking. It's in the culture. Um, it's an island. Yeah.
So can I ask you, you said piecework. Um, do you call it that because it's peaceful work, or is it because you exchange with other workers that are in a different part of the world, different culture, or what is it that makes it piecework?
Yeah, nice. You hear it from me, so you see that I'm kind of a poet, like just by with my name, playing with the sound and everything. I call it, yeah, piecework. But the piecework is it's more like when I go morel hunting, mushroom hunting. It's or cherry picking. It's piecework. The more you earn more money if you pick more. So if you're quicker at it, you're not pay per hours. Basically, you pay by the piece you make. If you pick, so
I
you
see.
become. So
It's that kind.
if you're the best cherry picker, you'll be a ninja with the tree. You say to the tree, please give me in abundance, and so you won't get tired because you like you know how to the tree is giving you.
You're in flow with it. That's
You're,
beautiful.
you're in flow with it. Yeah.
That was kind of the main thing that interested me that wanted to have this conversation with you is you mentioning of your long experience with the life of the bush, right? Being in nature, connecting,
Yeah.
and receiving the
I,
abundance, being a part of it. So that's beautiful.
yes. But before the peace work, what I was doing, I was in China teaching English in the kindergarten, and it was in 2008, and I was a substitute teacher. I would go. I never had my same children. And then I was getting back into the working force, but I
So do you
struggle with
do
fight.
you speak Chinese?
No, no, no.
Ah,
I had a Chinese assistant, and then it was kindergarten. I was kind of a clown, and I was teaching the kids to step out and learn whatever they need to learn. English was the thing, but I'm a little rebel with English also. I become more comfortable with it, but I'm a little rebel with the language because because it's part of my collective fight, my family fights, being stubborn around our language. Anyway,
mm. In your family you speak French, yeah?
yeah, in our culture, yeah, we do speak French, yeah, and we're a little stubborn.
Uh,
Both like there's English Canada and French Canada. We're kind of both a little stubborn, but it's changing now. The new generation is changing, and maybe there will be no French. It's be only English. I don't know. Or maybe eventually we won't even talk. We're just gonna be knowing.
telepathic communication.
We're just gonna be knowing and loving and
Ah, imagine. So what was it that brought you from New Zealand over to Bali?
it starts with New Zealand uh, because of the charity, because it's something I knew. And well, there was a girl going there, so I say, well, maybe I can partner with her, and I don't have the paperwork, but maybe I can work for her. And then, but it didn't work that way. So I went for the girl or for the thing, thinking that the girl would say, "Hey, but well, you can work for me. I will pay you." Or yeah, but it didn't work that way.
But my question's about Bali, though, about Bali.
After why did I choose Bali after New Zealand?
Yeah.
Well, because it was nearby. By I mean, well, nearby. It's okay.
Hmm.
Well, I've never been to Bali. Everybody goes to Bali. I don't
That's a
know.
fascinating place.
I like spiritual. I like spiritual. I
Yeah,
like people that try to think differently. Um,
great. Yeah, I went.
yeah,
I know that I went there for the Bali Spirit Festival. I was living on Kauai back in 2016, and there were some musicians that I liked that lived there also. And
okay,
I remember them saying, "Oh, we're going off now to the Bali Spirit Festival in 2016." And I said, "That sounds very interesting." And the following year, I went because of that. Uh, and because some
nice.
friends of mine, I had some friends that we produced this permaculture activation tour. So it was a
Yeah,
3 month journey down the west coast of the US, visiting all these organic farms and community gardens and permaculture projects and doing volunteer days and bringing people together for some workshops and some music. We had a DJ and my friends play acoustic music. And so that was our it was called the Blooming Biodiversity Permaculture Activation Tour. And after we finished with the 3 months down the west coast of the US, we ended up going to Peru. Like they went together and I then went by myself and met up with them down there and went to a couple other projects, like went hiking in the mountains with some Quechua children uh, and visiting some beautiful little community garden spaces. And from there, basically, it wasn't directly, we didn't go directly from there, but shortly afterwards went over to Bali and got to participate with the Bali Spirit Festival, which was me really for me. It was very interesting for me as somebody who's been to a lot of yoga festivals that are also music festivals, and the main focus of them has been for me about the music uh, and other art. People do amazing art installations and yoga as well. But the Bali Spirit Festival is one that's like yoga is what it's about, and people go there for the yoga. There's music also, uh, but it was interesting to see the difference in focus. How people went there to practice their yoga, and they were very focused about that. So and that was cool. And then afterwards, I found out there was this New Earth Festival happening, and I had previously heard about the New Earth organization. They had a network of community projects and uh, kind of an online university that they had been developing, and it was the New Earth Project and New Earth University, and then they had this New Earth Festival in 2017, and yeah, we both found our way there, and they had a interesting demonstration of uh, they call it an over unity device. And I'm not sure if this is the origin of the term, but right now I'm reading a book by Victor Schauberger. Uh, well, it's kind of a compilation of some of his notes and memoirs, but it's about energy, and he uses that term over unity. Um, so I'm not sure where the origin of that is, but basically it describes a type of electricity generator that isn't combusting fuel and exploding things. It's actually working in harmony with the natural force, with the gravitational force, and just moving energy, subtle energies in such a way that it allows us to produce power. And they gave a demonstration of a device like that at the New Earth Festival. And that was super interesting. Um, and yeah, I'd love to hear your perspective on your time at the festival and in Bali in general.
Well, first of all, because I love so much the marketing around words or identity, just the fact that it was saying New Earth was like, wow. I think it's a it's still wow. What did we did with it? I don't know yet. But New Earth. I think we should be stepping into this idea of the New Earth. But I like the coziness of my old Earth also. So it's good to meet you again, Keegan, because we've stayed in touch somehow from this time of the New Earth. And now you're talking about energy and how to be aligned with the energy and how to maybe like the free energy kind of thing. Like I, I'm thinking also, and so good. Like me after the festival or the New Earth Festival, I I um, I um, I went to Java. I went to Java right after. I was more maybe attracted in that time of Bali. I was attracted to a different religion, different collective that has different belief, you know. And so in Bali, basically was the Hinduism, where they put altar and where they put lots of respect to different gods, and that was that attract that like I felt really support and really it was like, wow, this is great what they are doing. And when I went in Java, it was like more the Muslim culture or spirituality. And I remembered I was invited to a village, and I was I become some sort of very famous in this village. And we did some theater, and I learned so many things with the indigenous people there and the local about making bamboo instrument and things like that. At the New Earth, I felt like it was a bunch of foreigner, and I was really rebel. I was like, "Fuck!" I'm amongst a bunch of people that are fortunate to be here, and I just want to be with the locals. And so I enjoy my time. Okay, this idea of New Earth, but I was too much, a little bit judgmental, and I just wanted to be with the locals, to give respect to the local and to give the time and say, I'm at in your house, and so I'm respecting your ways. I felt the New Earth was a little bit like, or the Bali things in general was a little bit like a bunch of foreigners coming to do yoga and pay the big money in a place where it's, yeah, and sometimes they can be disrespectful of some people that I don't know. It's, yeah,
Yeah, I
that was
definitely
my
saw
take.
that as well. And I was lucky enough to stay with a local family. They were Japanese, Balinese people, super friendly, and I was doing some English teaching while I was staying with them and helping them start some new garden beds on their dream project to make like they wanted to make a farm with a kitchen right there so they could make meals like super fresh from the fields. And they already had an okra farm, and they hosted me in this very rudimentary bamboo house that like when the wind would come, the whole house would just sway. And it was, it was like a tree house sort of, but it was just built from bamboo along one of these narrow roads that's mostly a pedestrian road that had, motos coming and going as well, and the occasional car. Uh, Beautiful. Um, I remember the neighbor would kind of check me out while I was doing my thing at this bamboo house, and one day he called me over and he like kind of brought me he like kind of took me by the hand and he walked me into his garden, into his house, and he had this probably 13-year-old daughter or something. He just like kind of brought me to her and then like kind of introduced us and then he just walked away. And that made, I don't know, at the time that felt very uncomfortable for me. I was like, do I do in this? This is an awkward situation. Your dad just brought me up to you, like sort of like a a matchmaker. So that was one unique experience I had with the local people there. Also, there was a sad one. I know that there's a lot of kind of black magic type of activity that people engage with in Bali, and that's what my host, my his name was Komang. He hosted me, and his wife had recently passed away, and he was blaming it on another woman that was jealous of his wife, and actually like cursed her, and she died because of that. That's how he described it to me. Um, so kind of intense things, um, but very beautiful. Everything under the sun. The only place I've ever been pooped on by a monkey while I was riding my bicycle. So wild experiences down there. I would have loved to have gone to Java also. I'm sure you had, uh, you know, some interesting experiences you want to share a bit about. Like you became famous. Why did you become famous in this village?
Well, I think I've become famous because I was the only foreigner, and it's like someone coming from the city going to a village, like maybe like famous in a sense that I'm a foreigner. I'm full of knowledge. I'm full of and I happen to be nearby or coming to the village. So wow, nobody in the village can afford to go out of the village. So wow, and and I was the only one, so I could not have like a tribe of us saying, "Hey, this is like look at that what he's doing here," like or what look at that like. No, I was like I needed to be. I'm like wow. I'm like okay, so much blessing, and yeah, it was amazing because of every like I really enjoy what they were doing, and I remember the guy who invited me. He he was kind of an anarchist, a little rebel also, and wanted to do some sort of a new earth also because he had work in the field and it was for a big company and he was kind of like a little slave with maybe Monsanto. I don't know. It was a little slave with few things, and he realized that, and he quit. And then he was doing this little humble thing, theater, trying to open minds in the little village. And he was very happy that I come along too, and that I accept what he was doing, that I support him just by my presence. So that was the thing in Java for me. And then I kept going on my journey back in Canada, morel hunting, exactly all that.
That's
But
awesome. That's awesome. I want to share one more memory I have from that place. I was staying in this bamboo house and
yes,
I was using a network called Workaway. I think it was Workaway. It might have been Help X. But there was another volunteer that came and stayed, and he was from France. And I
yeah,
remember he kind of, for me, he coined the term rainbro, as in like a rainbow brother from the
yeah, yeah,
rainbow family. People are familiar with
yeah,
the rainbow gatherings. And
yeah, yeah.
I remember saying to him one day, this place is filthy in so many ways. People pile up their garbage right in their front yard and burn it right there. And like I mentioned about getting pooped on by a monkey, and he brought the big picture perspective uh, of the philosophy. What he said was, we're not here to be clean, you know, and not, and he didn't mean just in Bali, although that may be especially true in Bali. Uh, but here on the earth, we're not here to stay clean, and we're here to get down in the dirt and muck around and see what it's like to be embodied. So I'll never forget when he said that.
Nice. Yes, it's a bliss. It's a blessing in a way that you've been pooped by a monkey. It's a blessing in a way. You see, hey, rain brother, huh? Rain bro. I cannot
That's
say
nice,
it,
right?
but yeah, rain bro. I say it with my shit. Look, I remember in Bali what I also, or maybe it was Indonesia, but it was like a day of silence. I was there in this day where the day of silence. Nobody could take the plane. It was like a day where that's a thing in Bali, or remember, or was it in Indonesia? It's like today we do nothing. That's the day. So no, you cannot fly on that day. You cannot. There's nothing happening apparently, and so yeah, it was a special things to reflect. Uh, wow, would be great if there was a day in around the planet where we stop for a day and just maybe really be with your art and manifesting the stay there for a day. And
Yes.
but if, and it's easier if everybody is doing it.
Mm. That could be definitely something to integrate with the new Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I was imagining. I was there for
Imagine,
that also. Nyepi, it was called. Nyepi, the Balinese New Year.
yeah, Balinese New Year, New Earth. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So
And so
like
can you tell more
that was
about
yeah.
sorry, I was just gonna ask more about like your history, like how you got into doing foraging for a living, and just hear more about that. It's super interesting.
Okay. Uh great. Uh, One of my main fight as a human is the fucking paperwork, ID and passport and border and all those things. Try to fit. Uh, so
I'm so
uh,
with you on that.
so uh, so foraging, it's been 15 years I've been doing it. 15 years. And uh, but I'm around indigenous people of Canada, or the red pathways for about 20 years. So when we met in Bali, I was already into, like, for 10 years into the red ways, like with like setting up teepee, doing peyote ceremony or sweat lodge or sun dance, or all those things. For uh, so foraging for 15 years, but 20 years or 22 or 25 years now of being around indigenous ways and with indigenous people in Canada, or anywhere else in the world. So when I go to Bali, I don't want to be with, I'm not that attracted to be with a bunch of pretended guru. I want to be with elders and yeah. So foraging, why foraging? It's because that summer I'm picking cherry in British Columbia in Canada. I'm picking cherries, and we pick cherries from sometime like midnight all the way until it's too warm, like until maybe noon, and then we rest and prepare for the next day. And so that summer I would picking cherry, and then we would go rest by a lake. And that summer I saw a forest burning, like it's the start of a burning forest, burning the other side of the lake. We will rest at the lake, but the other side of the lake I saw the beginning of a burning forest, and I kind of panic because I'm like, oh fudge, we're gonna be evacuated. Uh, wow. But no, we kept picking cherry for another month, and in that experience, like ashes will fall. Sometimes the sky will be pink. Other time it will become our entertainment, that sometime the helicopter will come and try to put down the fire, uh, and it start talking in the community of the peace work of the cherry picking. It's I say, hey, next year there'll be morel mushroom, because morel mushroom grow well after a burn forest. It's a symbol rebirth, or the morel will come in the spring. So for 15 years, I've been chasing where I've been discovering the north of Canada, because every year I would go where there was a burn forest the year before, and I would witness what's happening in the spring, and the morel will show up in abundance. Some year will be good year, other year will be not good year. So I've been connected with the mushroom, but as a hunter, but an indigenous hunter. I'm not bragging on saying, wow, I find lots of mushroom. It's the mushroom that is finding me, or it's Mother Earth that is calling me to follow this path, because I've commit to it. I've decided that I commit to it, to give respect to it, to the new earth. So because I know that I can gain way more than money. I'm gaining a healing from it. I'm gaining inspiration from it. I'm gaining a time of connection and disconnection of the pollution that pollutate my mind in a daily basis, just by hearing the trauma around the world or whatever. It's being in the forest, or being in the nature, or being with my own body nature, and present. I can cultivate and give more respect to the whole thing. Foraging. So that's how I end up going to the forage thing. It's just like a
That's
call
beautiful.
of nature. It was maybe a lightning that called me there, because a lightning started a fire, and the fire started this, and la la
Mm.
la.
Wow, you're struck by the idea. That's beautiful. So, do you want to share also more about your experience with the Red Road you mentioned, with the peyote ceremony, with Sundance? That's so uh, spiritual work and
Okay,
interesting tradition.
let's say I will bring up the story of how I become indigenous. Okay, uh, basically, uh, if I go a little bit before the cherry picking and the teaching English in China, before that, uh, well, basically, I graduated in computer science, 10 years of computer science. And then, I've done it, I've done the training, and then my first job was in Paris. So I would work in Paris. Tuck, 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 tuck. But when I was living in Paris for 2 years, having this kind of student life, but in Paris, I was like, I become a traveler. It was easy to go in places, and my work, the things I was doing at work was not that important. Was way more important to enjoy life. I embodied la joie de vivre, the French, on the French culture. So and because I was living in Paris, it was easy to travel in many places. But I was traveling very like a student. I was very careful like a student on how I would. But I become a really critical too, like the French. They are really critical. They're never happy with what they have, and I'm like, guys, you have everything. What the big deal? And the way I was critical around is like, if it was not for the paperwork, like the visa, I would probably be still in Paris. But because of this paperwork that was very hard to get, or I had to fight for it, or wait for this paper or this paper, or I decide to give up. Like I'm not gonna spend all my energy trying to fight to get the paper. I give up. So I say bye-bye, Paris. I'm going back to Canada. And I went back to Canada. And then my life changed because I decide, okay, well, I've enjoyed traveling and I've enjoyed all that, and now I'm broke and I'm like I cannot blah blah blah. But I've discovered about psychology and my shadow side, and I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna be involved in NGO. So I've traveled all Eastern Europe. I've spent like a year in Ukraine doing international cooperation. And so, okay, so I have the Paris and the Ukraine. And now I'm back in Canada and I have this van and I feel like I'm a little still confused. Okay, what am I doing now? And I have this van and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in Belize to heal myself with nature. And I'm gonna go in Latin America for the first time. And I'm gonna like I have this van. I'm gonna drive the van for 6 months or until the van die. And then I come back. That was the idea. But I'm gonna go meet some shaman and I'm gonna go heal myself with nature. So, and then I would ask all my family, give me what your belonging. I'm gonna give it to the less fortunate. That was the idea too. Only my grandma gave me some Tupperware and things like that. So anyway, I went on this journey. I remember in Belize, I was like, I would be volunteering in the Peace Corps. Peace Corps, like an NGO or something like down there. And yeah, in Belize, like I had two passengers with me. I dropped one in Dallas, and then I dropped one in Oaxaca in Mexico, and then I was on my own, and then I picked some coffee, like lots of adventure and experience. And at the end, I'm in Belize with a machete, and I'm the only white amongst a bunch of indigenous, and they give me a piece of land, and I'm in a village called More Tomorrow. That's the name of the village. No electricity, no running water, just a river, and I have this piece of jungle, and every day I go with my machete to clean it, to take care of it, to have a relationship. It's back to jungle now, but just this work and dreaming was good enough for me to heal myself and to feel accepted as the white guy amongst a bunch of indigenous that most of them, they work for picking orange with all the chemicals. Many of my friends there die. I was really sad there because I had all this education and traveling. They were all happy living in a village with the running water from the river, little village. I was writing lots, but I felt alone. And I was not, I didn't want to do no revolution, but just to be there with them was good enough for them to feel like, oh gosh, uh, someone, a human is with us. A white human is with us, and he's not our boss. He's with us as a brother. So I become an indigenous from that time. So when I come back towards Mexico and then Canada, I just felt like I needed to know my people, where I'm coming from, really, my neighbors. I hear the drum and I follow the drum, and there I am in the red path or in a sweat lodge because of this time where I decide I want to heal myself with nature in Belize.
That's a great
So
story.
it's a long story.
That's beautiful. And I can definitely relate with aspects of that. I've had kind of similar experiences living in Costa Rica and also in Belize. Um, out with the machete and learning from the local people and getting to be a part of their amazing lives. So rich in Central America. Um, and yes, it was really, really beautiful experiences. I was staying in a town called Cristo Rey in Belize, and when I was in Costa Rica, I lived in Punta Mona, which is a permaculture center. Um,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah,
awesome. Thanks for sharing all that.
yeah. Well, like Belize, Costa Rica, Laos. Um, yeah, there is some amazing places in the world where uh, nature is predominant, or the
Yeah.
wilderness is more predominant. There's you look at other culture around it, let's say I'm in Southeast Asia, I'm in Laos. In Laos, maybe there's 8 million in inhabitant, and but all the countries surrounding it, it's like lots of inhabitant, way more, and maybe
Mm,
less, more development of things, more of the machine. But in Belize or Costa Rica or Laos, it's more the nature and the relationship and the simplicity or complicity with the diversity of things that is provided with nature. And there's like that sense of harmony. It's more. But if I want to be in touch with my people in Belize, it's not with like I'm calling you. I need to be there.
mm,
They need to be there. I'm not gonna do the Wi-Fi thing. I could, but uh, yeah, no, I need to be there to really communicate with them.
wow. Yeah, it's so valuable to go and have these experiences, and you and I are blessed to have been able to do that and to have had the will, to go and expose ourselves to those experiences and take the steps to be a part of it. And it's definitely something that I want to continue doing and hopefully to inspire other people to also um, participate with and to help them, you know, design learning experiences that are, adventurous and that are conducive to creating this brotherhood and inclusivity and learning from the perspectives of the people who are close with nature every day and living in an environment where nature is predominant and we we not only is it necessary to harmonize with nature in order to survive, it is more rewarding, right? And that's something that in our cities we forget. We think that there's more, it's rewarding to have comfort and luxury items, and there's merit to those things as well. But they can so often become distractions from what's actually what life is about here on the earth, right? Which is uh, life itself. It's about the beautiful expression of the many flowers, plants, and animals, and we're a part of that. And we have the power to make it, more beautiful, more abundant, more diverse. We can be a positive influence on the environment and receive that much more positive influence from the environment as a result of our efforts. Uh, so thank you for sharing your journey and bits of it anyway, and I hope listeners will take some inspiration and you know reach out to me if you are inspired by this and you would like support to design an adventure like that for yourself. I'm excited to be launching an initiative that is based around that, based around us reclaiming our authentic identity as nature and deep partnership with nature in the various ways that that can be done, whether it's through exploring our ancestry or uh, cultural traditions that resonate with us, uh, right down to uh, like you're saying, Memo, having to be on the land, in the place with the people. So going on adventures like that is ultimately the most fulfilling journey we can be on, in my view. So uh, grateful to connect with you, and thanks so much for sharing. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we wind down the interview?
Um, mm, Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the curiosity and the work you do, the work you do, the curiosity, rainbow, rainbow, sun bro, moon bro, astro bro. Um, yeah, thank you, thank you. So, just that, and yeah, it's uh, it's reflecting on the time of the notion of time and the notion of presence. So thank you for capturing me in my fullness in this world, in going forward in this world with my childish things. So thank you for capturing me, Dad. Just kidding.
Okay. Well, you are free. I won't hold you, even if you say I've captured you. You're free again. Yeah. Here's to new Earth and many adventures yet to come.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Many blessings, everyone. See you again soon.
See you again.